The kitchen is the heart of the home, and no one wants problems with that. Hey there, hi, welcome to the channel. I am Garrett, and in this video, we're talking all about kitchens, kitchen renovations, kitchen upgrades, kitchens everything. We're starting at the top and working our way down because so many of you have asked for my ideas about kitchens, upgrades, renovations. So many of you have asked me for this video, so be sure you give it a like and that you're subscribed to the channel and have the bell notifications turned on to get notified every time I upload. We've got a lot of kitchens to go over, so let's get into the video. The first thing we're gonna be talking about is at the top. We're starting from the top and working our way down, and the top is the ceiling, which, I mean, a ceiling is a ceiling. Do whatever you want with your ceiling, whether you add beams. You know I love a painted, decorative ceiling, but most importantly, we're gonna be talking about lighting. Lighting is essential to any space, and a kitchen is no different. So in just any space, whether that's a living room, a bedroom, a dining room, whatever, we typically like to see three forms of lighting. And that would be an overhead light, something that's a little bit more of a mood light, like lamps or sconces, and a task light of some sort. But in a kitchen, it's a little bit different because you don't have a place necessarily to put a table lamp. You don't really have empty wall space for a sconce. You might have empty wall space. I mean, I don't know your kitchen. But you don't tend to have a ton of extra space that isn't being used. And that's a good thing and a bad thing. And it's a bad thing because you don't necessarily have great places for extra lighting. But let's talk about what you do have and what's most ideal. And just because you don't have something like this or you're not doing a major renovation doesn't mean you won't get some information out of this, because in the future you never know where you will be and there's plenty of upgrades you can do to your space. So the first form of lighting that you typically want to see in a kitchen is some sort of recessed lighting, whether that's flush mounts or can lights. Something like this is going to add the bulk of the lighting to the space. We want that because kitchens are spaces we use. They're active spaces, people are always in them, we need to see what we're doing, and so can lights like this can act as overall lights, but they can also act as task lights. The next form of lighting that I typically like to see in a kitchen is some sort of hanging or pendant-like fixture. These could be over an island or over a peninsula of some sort. You could even just have a central light fixture, but we do like to see some sort of hanging fixture. That way we have a little bit of mood lighting, we have a little bit of accent, and you're still adding another layer of lighting. It's really that layered lighting that really sells the space. But a great place to add lighting in addition to those, if you can, is potentially if you have a gap above your cabinetry. That's a really wonderful place to add it, but also underneath the cabinets. That task lighting can really enhance the space. I also love it because it kind of serves as a night light. That's really cool, and it always layers lighting like that. Really an interesting place to put lighting, and will definitely enhance a space. Not only make it look better, but make it function better, because a kitchen, first and foremost, has to function. That's its main priority, not just looking good. While we're on the topic of a gap between your cabinetry, let's address what to do with that and why I don't like it. So I don't love to have a gap above cabinetry, and there's a certain place and time where a gap is acceptable, where, you know, if you have vaulted ceilings, you don't really have a choice, or if you have really tall ceilings, you also don't have that choice. But if you have 8 or 9 foot ceilings like a standard in a typical home, that's a great place to add additional storage or to fill that space in. Additional storage is great if you bring the cabinetry up to the ceiling. Good for off season. I like to store holiday, Christmas, Halloween decor, all of that up in those areas that I don't use all of the time, but I still like to have access to. That saves me on storage in my attic or in closets or whatever, but it also is a great place to conveniently put things, especially if it's like for a holiday meal that you only have once a year. Something like that is great. Something else you can do that's really great if you have this gap of space there is to build a bulkhead in. This can take up the space, you're not gonna gain extra storage, but you lose that gap, because that gap always kind of builds dust up there. I'm an allergy sensitive person. I find that most people are. I like to have them go up to the ceiling because they bring the eye up, it's easier to maintain and clean, and the least amount of cleaning I can do, the better. It also adds a really polished and finished look because you can wrap it in crown molding or some sort of detail. This is always really fun and a really great way to upgrade a space for very little money. Even if you're renting, you could potentially do this with your landlord's approval, of course, but it's something that can really upgrade and elevate any space, any kitchen, is just by filling that gap of space there to bring the eye up. Now, if you do have that gap of space there, I definitely recommend you check out my kitchen trends and how to decorate decor that needs to go video. This one was a hit. A lot of people really loved it. Some of my most iconic rants and moments are in that video. People really ate it up, and I definitely recommend you check it out because it's one you will definitely enjoy and get a lot of useful information out of. Now we're moving down and we're talking about upper cabinetry. So if you have a very small kitchen, you can go with no upper cabinetry. It is kind of a trend at the moment, and it's something I don't really love because I definitely need the space, and I find most people do. But having no upper cabinetry in a space that has low ceilings or is very small will make a space feel more open and feel more light. But you can also achieve that through glass-fronted cabinetry doors. A lot of people like them, a lot of people don't. I think we're getting to the point where kind of having the glass cabinets on either side of a vent hood is starting to feel a little bit dated. But what I really love is when you have kind of a separate area of cabinetry, like a butler's pantry, or maybe even just a small bar, something that's set aside, maybe it's next to your refrigerator, something like that. Having glass-fronted cabinetry there is a really great way to display some things, put some of your beautiful cookware, dinnerware, collectibles on display, and it almost has the effect of furniture, like a hutch or like a china cabinet of some sort, and I really love that. I always think it's really beautiful and really cool when I see it, but if you have glass-fronted doors on either side of your vent hood, I still think that can look really great and be a really good place to display things. As long as you don't go for any super trendy styles, you keep it classic, it'll always be timeless. Some other great features to incorporate into an upper cabinetry area of your kitchen are open shelves. I don't love them on either side of a cooktop, on either side of a vent hood, just because they tend to build grease and get dusty and it's just kind of gunk. It's never a great idea, but I find that a lot of kitchens that are in open concept homes have that kind of one cabinet that's like on the far side of the sink. It's just kind of hanging out on the wall, sticking out. That's a great place to bring in open shelves, and if you're not prepared to take down a cabinet, you could just take the doors off of that. You could do a fun wallpaper or even just paint a color that matches your walls to make that piece feel more open and use that as an open cabinet to display some of your beautiful things. Let's move down just a little bit further and talk about backsplashes and countertops. There's a lot of different options out there and a lot of things you can go with, all of which have their pros and cons. Some of them are really great, some of them are maybe just a little bit personal. I don't personally love anything that's too dark or too busy. I think the combination of dark and busy always tends to make a kitchen look heavy, and I like for a space to feel light and bright, but you may have a different feeling about that, and that's okay. My top recommendation for any space, any kitchen, any style, have the backsplash color match the countertop color. Doesn't have to be the same material, doesn't have to be, I don't know, in the same family or whatever, but I really like when it's consistent in color. I think it's very timeless, it's very neutral. You can't go wrong with that. In my last home, I actually had cream marble countertops that matched our cream travertine floors. It was really beautiful, and we did a cream marble backsplash that played really nicely and tied really beautifully into it because it created good flow, the space felt open, in spite of the fact we actually had very dark cabinetry. So you can really play with having those two elements match that create a space that feels very light and very bright. You can also contrast. You can do one color on your island and backsplash and then another color countertop on your island. That's always really fun and very in right now. It's something that can be very trendy, so you want to be mindful of the materials you select when doing that. But it is something that does look really good every time I see it. Okay, moving down a little bit further, base cabinetry. This is the #1 place that you can take advantage of. One of the #1 things I see being requested and put into homes are drawers. I honestly, in my opinion, unless it has an appliance in it or is holding a garbage can, you should not have any base cabinets with doors. They should all be drawers, as many drawers as you can get, because they're convenient, they're easy to use, they're easier to organize, and you can access more of the cabinet by having them. Obviously, there's some things that will not fit into a drawer, like a blender or like a mixer of some sort. Those are instances where maybe a cabinet with a door is fine, but those base cabinets, you really want to have them be drawers or pullouts. You can add a pullout to an existing cabinet to really upgrade the space. That's one of the #1 things I see being done is kind of, there's It's literally an industry where I live of these companies that install base cabinet drawers that pull out because it's so much more convenient and so much easier, especially if you plan on being in your home, you plan on aging in place. That's a really, really great feature to add to a kitchen. If you are investing in the luxury segment, you definitely need to add it. Anywhere, honestly, it's so much more convenient and so easier to organize that I think everyone should have it, but it is a really, really amazing feature if you are looking to retire in your home, you're looking to stay in that home for a long period of time. It will make it so much easier and so much more convenient. There's also a lot of really great storage options you can incorporate into base cabinets. You can do pullouts, you can do organizational things. There's a lot of really fun ones, especially if you have those drawers. You can add in dividers with tension rods, or there's even like these really cool tension divider drawer inserts that are really fun. A lot of people are doing plates and drawers. This is a great place to take advantage if you do decide to go for open shelving or no cabinetry if you have a lower ceiling. This will really enhance your space and increase the usability of it tenfold. Floors in kitchens for me are important, but easy enough to select because I just like for things in a home to be consistent. Whether it's tile, whether it's wood, I just say bring it into your kitchen, incorporate it, have it flow throughout because it really creates a sense of flow, of luxury, of substantial feeling, design. It's really, really great just to bring those floors into your kitchen and not overthink it. The one thing I would say that I never like to see is when vinyl wood look floor meets real wood. It always makes the vinyl look cheaper and it always makes it look fake. I would say if you have to do that, contrast with something completely different. You don't want to have a cheaper floor next to a really luxurious floor because it's always going to make the cheaper floor look cheap. It's kind of the same thing with carpet. Like, you're not going to bring carpet into your kitchen, so put a wood floor in, put tile in, put vinyl in, something like that that is just a completely different material and doesn't have any relation or correlation to the other. As for some of the hardware features in your kitchen, my top recommendation is go for the apron front sink. I absolutely love them, and you can do these that are more modern, you can do them that are more traditional. Nothing says like a beautiful, luxurious kitchen that I want to spend time in, like a gorgeous cast iron farmhouse sink. I absolutely adore them. They're beyond beautiful. And they even look great in stainless steel. You can get them that are cast iron that are a little bit more modern or in some really interesting colors. This is a great place to really upgrade a kitchen, and you can actually have base cabinetry altered. I don't care what anybody tells you, you can almost always have base cabinetry altered to fit one of these units in it. I've done it before and it always came out and looked really great. This is such a good upgrade to elevate a space, and some people don't like them. I personally love them. I think they're gorgeous, I think they're beautiful, and I don't think it's something that someone's gonna walk into your house and say, no, I can't buy this place because there's a farmhouse sink in it. I think it's always a selling feature, it's always a conversation piece. I've literally had people walk into kitchens that have it and gasp because they're so beautiful. Also, from the perspective of usability, you actually get more sink space with one because you don't have the kind of countertop lip. It's just sink right there at the edge of the countertop, and they tend to stick out a little bit. So you get a bigger sink for the same place or same amount of space. While we're on the subject of hardware in a kitchen, let's talk about metal finishes. I always like to see them mixed up. I think you can go with all brass or all black or all chrome or brushed nickel, whatever, but I like to see them mixed up. I think it creates a little bit of character in a space. There is kind of a formula to mixing them up though. You want to almost stick to a pattern or keep them like with like. So make sure your light fixtures are all one metal, and I typically like to see that one metal be different from the cabinetry hardware. That way you kind of have the metal on the ceiling is one color, the cabinetry hardware is another. You do your faucet in a matching metal tone to the light fixtures, and so we're creating like one for one for one, and then the base cabinet hardware be another color, or you can even do the hardware along the cabinetry on a wall one color and then do an island another. There's lots of fun things you can do. You can even do a two-toned kitchen, and let's say you do a kitchen that's two-toned in black and white. The white cabinetry can have black hardware and the black cabinetry can have gold hardware. You can mix them up and have a lot of fun with them, mixing metals. I personally like to keep metals to 2. That doesn't include appliances, of course, if you go for stainless steel, but having those different types of hardware in a kitchen creates a lot of character and really makes a space speak to you, and it's easy to upgrade whether you're in a rental, whether you're in an existing home. As a matter of fact, Hardware on cabinetry is a thing that like builders where I live just don't do. You get a house and there's no hardware on the cabinetry. It is the jewelry of the space and you really, really need it, whether you think so or not. I mean, you could do the whole like push button thing or like where you like touch it and it like bounces out or whatever. Like, it's interesting, but nothing says luxurious, beautiful, sumptuous, gorgeous kitchen like some really, really good hardware on cabinetry. We talked about lighting and cabinetry, countertops, backsplashes, but in my opinion, kitchens don't sell houses. Appliances sell houses. The appliances are what we are using in that kitchen. They get the most use and they need to be beautiful. That's not the place to save money. That's the place to invest it, because a beautiful piece of equipment in your kitchen will take it from feeling like a normal kitchen or a builder grade kitchen into something that is just sumptuous and gorgeous. Investing in appliances can be expensive, sure. The number one piece, in my opinion, to invest in is a range. There's a lot of beautiful options out there that are two-toned and you can get them colored and match the kitchen or contrast. I think that's such a fun place to invest. I think it's something so beautiful because nothing like takes my breath away like a beautiful range that I can cook at, that it just makes me feel like I want to cook. It inspires you. And that's what a kitchen should do. You should really have a lot of joy in that space because that's kind of where it's the heart of the home, and nobody wants that to be lacking or dull. You want to invest in it in a good way. And in my opinion, it's that range that's the best place. But there are a number of things that I almost always do in kitchens if I have the opportunity to do them. And number one is I hate microwaves over ranges. It just doesn't ever look luxurious to me, and I would much rather stash a microwave away. Like, in my opinion, if you're really investing in a kitchen and you're cooking in it, you may not be using a microwave all that much. So that's the kind of thing we can tuck away into a pantry, we can put into a cabinet somewhere. I know the microwave drawers are a thing. That's fun because they're not over the range. I just don't like them there. I think a vent hood is such a good decorative piece. You also are gonna get more functionality out of a vent hood because it like has better suction than a microwave will. I just really like a vent hood. I just think they're beautiful and they really upgrade a space, and that's one of those features that like you get the convenience of it, but you also get the usage out of it. And don't get me wrong, if you have to put a microwave above your range, it's okay. You don't have an option. You need the countertop space, go for it because it will still work and function well for you. But if you do have the space, investing in that over the range hood, over the range hood, is that right? Investing in a hood over your cooktop is gonna be so luxurious and so beautiful. The next appliance that I think really needs to be spoken about is the French door wall oven. These are epic. They're so cool. The usage of them is great. This is also one of those pieces that if you are planning on aging in place, this is a must-have. They're beautiful, they're easy to use, you can get good access into them, but they're not obtrusive or in the way or whatever. Like if you have a built-in oven, upgrading to one of these is definitely worthwhile because these are so convenient, and not only that, they're just like beautiful. Like I don't think I could live in a house with one of these and not open it every time I walk past because they're just so cool, so unique, and you can also have them installed at the correct height for you because there's nothing worse than an oven that's really high or an oven that's really low. That's not easy to get into. So what's the point of adding a convenience feature like a French door oven if you can't get into it anyway? So having it installed at that correct height for you will give you a really custom finish, custom look. If you're gonna invest in a custom cabinet for your kitchen, that's the one place to do it so you can get that oven at the right height for you to get that access to it. And last but not least, the number one appliance that's gonna say luxury in your space is the refrigerator. In my opinion, I always go for the tallest refrigerator I can get. A tall refrigerator is gonna say built in, it's gonna say luxurious, it's gonna say investment. Even if it's not, you can really fake that kind of luxury built-in refrigerator look by just getting the correct size refrigerator, having a custom cabinet made or a cabinet that fits it really nicely. And something we actually had in our last house was a vent above our refrigerator, and it was completely fake. I actually had a repair person look into it and they were like, this isn't real. This is a completely fake vent, but it was stainless steel, it matched the refrigerator, and it made the refrigerator look like a foot taller than it was, and it made it feel like incredible luxury, sub-zero, like really, really amazing refrigerator. It was an amazing refrigerator, but it made it feel like so much more luxurious, and it made me feel so bougie opening the refrigerator and just being like, look at the height of my refrigerator. Because a refrigerator is something we access like all of the time. Even if you didn't cook that day, you probably still went into the refrigerator. And it really, really sells and says luxury in a home to have a very tall looking refrigerator, and you can totally fake that with just a stainless steel vent. Well, there you have it, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to let us know in the comment section down below. What are some upgrades and renovations you've done to your kitchen that I didn't include in this video? Or what are some upgrades you've put into your rental kitchen that you really, really enjoy? Be sure you give this video a like and you're subscribed to the channel for more videos like this. We all know someone that is redoing their kitchen, could use a little bit of upgrade, renovation, some ideas. Share this video with them because friends help friends. And I will see you in the next one.